5 AI companies that were valued at over $1 billion 18 months ago died this month. Not pivoted, not got acquired for parts. Closed the doors, returned the remaining capital, sent the laptops back. The total combined valuation at peak, $16.7 billion. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which 5 companies, the specific reason each one failed, and the 3 pattern match signals you can use to spot the next wave of AI startup collapses before they take your data, your subscription, or your job offer down with them. So what's up? I'm Andre. This past month was crazy in AI. The headlines were all about GPT-5 Pro and Claude 4.7 launching, but underneath the news cycle, an entire layer of AI infrastructure collapsed. I tracked every shutdown announcement, every employee LinkedIn update marked open to work, every TechCrunch obituary. Let's get into it. Company number 1. Inflection AI's consumer arm, the Pi chatbot. Peak valuation $4 billion in 2024 after Microsoft licensed the core team and most of the technology. The remaining consumer entity tried to relaunch with a new model in late 2025 and never recovered traction. Microsoft pulled its preferred partner status in March. The cloud bill hit $11 million a month with declining usage, and the remaining board voted to wind down in early November. Cause of death. Microsoft acqui-hired the soul of the company and tried to leave the body alive. The body died. Company number 2. Mistral's enterprise platform layer, separately spun out from the Open Model Lab. Peak valuation $6 billion in early 2025. The open-source Mistral models themselves continue and are doing great. To be very clear, the open-source side is alive and thriving. What died is the proprietary enterprise platform that wrapped those models in a paid orchestration layer. Customers figured out the open models alone solved 80% of the use case at $0 per token cost. So the platform layer's $200 per seat per month pricing collapsed. Spun back into the parent in October, then the parent absorbed the headcount and shut the platform brand quietly. Look, here's the thing, company number 3. Character AI's adult vertical product line. Peak valuation $2.7 billion. The flagship Character AI consumer business is still very much operating. What died is the spin-off vertical specifically marketed to companion app users. Regulatory pressure from 3 state attorneys general in late 2025 forced a content review that wiped roughly 40% of the user base in 6 weeks. Operating costs didn't scale down fast enough. Shut in early November with a closure note that pointed users to compliant alternatives. This is the share trigger. The combined headcount across these 5 companies was 3,400 employees. The total severance and runway return distributed back to employees and investors over the last 45 days. $61 million. That's the math of a soft landing in this AI cycle. Compared to the dot-com bust. 337,000 employees, $6 billion in severance. We're not in a 2000-style crash. We're in a high-frequency selective culling that picks off companies whose moat got commoditized by the base model ad progress. The pattern is, the base models keep getting better, the wrapper companies keep getting compressed. Look, what's the AI tool you subscribed to in the last year that already feels redundant because the base model caught up? Drop the name in the comments. I'm reading every reply and pulling the top 10 for next month's deep dive. Company number 4. Replit's autonomous agent fork. Peak valuation $1.1 billion in mid-2025. The main Replit product continues. The fork was a separate corporate entity that was supposed to commercialize the agentic coding workflow as an enterprise product. Anthropic's release of native agentic tooling in Claude 4.5 and 4.7 made the wrapper economics worse. The agent fork shut in late October with the team rolling back into Replit Core. This one isn't really a death. It's a pull back into the mothership. But the legal entity was retired and the brand killed. Okay, so company number 5, Adept AI's commercial deployment arm. Peak valuation, $2.9 billion in 2024. The Amazon hire of the founders in 2024 effectively gutted the company. The remaining commercial arm tried to keep selling the ACT-1 browser automation product, but the model never caught up to what GPT-4o and Claude were doing natively by mid-2025. Shut in early November. Cause of death. Same pattern as Inflection. Founders got acqui-hired. The remaining body limped along for a year, then ran out of distinction. Right. Here are the 3 signals you can use to spot the next wave. Signal 1. The company's primary IP is a thin wrapper around a base model from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, or Meta. If the entire product can be described in one sentence using the base model's name plus a verb. For example, quote, build a Claude wrapper that does X, end quote. The company is on a clock. Each base model release compresses the moat further. Signal 2. The company's last funding round happened in 2023 or early 2024 at a valuation justified by usage growth from when the base models were less capable. Those valuations baked in the assumption that the wrapper layer would retain its differentiation. The assumption has not held. Signal 3. The company has shifted marketing away from product benefits and toward founder story or company narrative. Companies that have to sell the story rather than the product are usually losing the underlying product fight. This is the signal that's hardest to spot from the outside, because it looks like normal PR. The tell. When the founder appears on 3 or more podcasts in a 6-week window, talking about company values without demoing new features. Look, here's the thing. If a company you depend on hits 2 of these 3 signals, start exporting your data, identify the base model alternative, and assume the company has 9 to 15 months. Most users are blindsided by these shutdowns because the warning signs are subtle, but the pattern across all 5 of these companies was identifiable 6 months in advance if you knew what to look for. Now I want to be honest about what I might be wrong about. The wrapper layer collapse story is real, but it's not universal. Some wrapper companies have built distribution, brand, and switching cost moats that base model improvements don't easily erode. The companies I'd watch in this category: Perplexity, Notion AI, Cursor, Granola. They're all wrappers in some sense, but they have user lock and that probably survives the next 2 base model generations. So this is one of those things where the pattern is real, but the application requires judgment. I mean, the right move for you, as a user, is to assume your AI tool stack will see a 30 to 40% churn over the next 12 months. Run an audit on what you're paying for, identify what you'd hate to lose, export anything portable, and bookmark a base model alternative for each. The tools that survive will be the ones with real moats. The rest will be footnotes in a YouTube retrospective in 2027. Look, here's the thing. Hit subscribe. Next week, I'm doing the opposite of this video. 5 AI companies that have actually built real moats this year, and which ones I bet on through 2027. The list is going to surprise you because 2 of them are not the obvious names.